Okay, so what we are discussing in Unit 3 in our discussion board is the difference between marketing for nonprofits and marketing for profits. And this is actually one of my favorite discussions because I actually do a lot of work with nonprofits. And so I'm fairly familiar with how they operate and the different marketing strategies they do or do not use. As you're going through this throughout the week, your goal is to discuss what are the similarities of marketing that you see in for business or in for-profit and not-for-profit. What are the differences that you see in the nonprofit world, in the for-profit world? That's your main focus on what those are. Now, I'm not going to sit here and discuss what the differences and similarities are because that'd be giving you the answer, but I do want you to take into consideration of why they would be different. In for-profit businesses and nonprofit businesses, they have different objectives. And so in for-profit, obviously, the goal is to make money. That's what we're all out to do. But a common misconception about nonprofits is that they're not out to make money. Well, that's actually not entirely true because at the end of the day, nonprofits still need to make money because they have to pay salaries, they have to pay bills, and they need actual money to do that. Now, the profit for a nonprofit is distributed differently than a for-profit. That's the main difference there. And for the most part, nonprofits offer a service or a good to better the community and or an underprivileged a class, okay? Whether that be people, animals, the environment, whatever the case may be there. And so that's the main difference there. So taking into consideration that we have for-profit businesses and not-for-profit businesses out there, why would there be a difference in how we market the two of them? Why would there be? Does there need to be? Okay, should it not matter? Those are the things that I'm going to have you think about as you're discussing it here. Now, also keep in mind that as we talk about what marketing is, product, price, place, promotion, how are we looking at all of those components? One area that students tend to think about when it comes to this question is just the advertising, the promotions part of it only. It's not all that we're talking about here, okay? So remember, we're looking at marketing as a whole, not just the one component of it. So when you're looking at not-profit, how do you evaluate your products or services? What about your distribution channel? Do you price it? Okay, is it something that you charge for? Is it something that you don't charge for? And then also, how do you promote it? And so we can look at different things there. We see not-for-profits in the advertising sector. We see them advertise and market all the time. That's how we know that those services are available. Some of the ones that come to mind are probably the ones that you know about the most. You know, for example, when a natural disaster strikes, we tend to see lots of advertising that's geared around from the American Red Cross about supporting that devastated area. You'll see promotions from the blood banks asking for blood donations, food drives, those types of things in those areas. And one of the ones that gets me every time, those darn Humane Society commercials, that Sarah McLachlan music comes on. Oh my, I have to change the channel, right? Because those sad puppy faces, they get me every time, okay? That's very effective marketing there. And so that's just one aspect that you're going to be looking at here when we talk about the difference between not-for-profit and for-profit marketing. So have some fun with this discussion. You are going to be focusing on those. Make sure you give examples either from your own personal experiences, but also make sure that you are incorporating outside sources as well and that you're citing those within your discussion board. I'm excited to see where this conversation goes, and as always, do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, and let's have some fun in our discussion board.